Welcome everyone to the Toku Portal podcast. It's me Zero here with
Rye.
And Vashi V.
Today we're talking about Kamen Rider Ex-Aid episode 33. Yeah, 33. So to recap, Dan Kuroto's father, Dan Masamune, was released from prison and took over Gundam Corp again as the CEO and became Kamen Rider Chronos, wanting to take control of Kamen Rider Chronicle, the game that is being played. Parado is in shock that bugsters can truly die when, instead of just being able to be reborn from their data. Masamune walks in and threatens the bugsters to liven up the game and attract players. Anything on these opening scenes?
I've got nothing.
it's interesting to see, like, even from like just the beginning, that what type of CEO Dan's father is, and like what his mindset is. I'm gonna talk more about this later on, but yeah, it's, man, they're really setting his character up real soon and pretty strong. Also for Peardo, like, it's interesting to see like how shaken up he is about Lavrika's death, and then later on in the episode he's like absolutely freaking terrified of Kronos. So, really good acting there, but also a very interesting side of Peardo that we haven't seen before.
On the hospital roof, Hiro informs Emu and Poppy that the proto-gashats were stolen from the Ministry of Health. They then get an emergency call and take off to the scene. The bugster Salty is kicking around some ride player. Now we know that even though his clear token was collected, he did not permanently die. So any of the bugsters can just come back, except Lovelica, because Masamune found a way to permanently kill him. Emu and Hiro show up as Ex-Aid and Brave to fight Salty off, but Graphite gets involved to attack Brave. Before things can escalate, Kronos shows up to interrupt the battle. He sees the Kamen Riders and the Bugsters as part of the game. They can't be fighting each other. He uses his pause time ability, and when time restarts, he and Brave are gone. Kronos took Brave somewhere else to offer him a position as his right-hand man. Brave unhesitatingly rejects it and attacks him. Unfortunately, Brave doesn't even lay a hand on him, and Kronos knocks him out of his henshin. He tells Hiro that he would be paid for his work, and reveals that he was the one who stole the proto-gashats. Somehow to Hiro's shock, but not to mine, it was kind of obvious. That was a lot of information, but that's really because not a lot truly happened in that time period. I do think, though, that Brave had the best reaction to the whole protagonist being tempted by the evil god thing, which was, "Did you expect me to agree?"
Right. It just his initial reaction to it was that that downcast stare, and the scene ends. This one, he's like, literally, screw you and the horse you rode in on. I don't care that the horse didn't do anything, but screw him too. This entire scene, to include the way Kronos interrupted the fight and basically put an end to it, was, while unique, it was still fairly straightforward. His reasons behind it are, as a thinking of his company, it's a very good idea of, yeah, you're my property, I need to, you guys know this needs to stop. But him, it wasn't a shock that he stole the proto-gashats. That was fairly obvious from the moment he showed up out of prison, and he's walking through the hallway in the last episode with the briefcase, and then all of a sudden the Geshots are missing. I wonder who could have done that. Um, but yeah, all in all, I'm enjoying Kamen Rider Christmas Tree.
Kamen Rider Christmas Tree?
Tell me he does not look like a walking pine tree.
I mean, he's not that bad.
I didn't think so, but you're entitled to your opinion.
I did not say it was a bad thing. I
mean,
really love his look. It just reminds me of a pine tree.
Wasn't the walking pine cone a Gaim thing? Okay.
Well, that was a pine cone, not a pine tree.
Oh, fair enough.
It's his father. Come on.
What is this, like Yu-Gi-Oh? It's like Kaiba's the adopted son, and then he had a real one. That's what you sure to think. Ah, fuck it. This joke has gone way too long. Okay. Yeah, I wonder, like, I just thought of something. I wonder if that, you know how in, like, the preview for the next episode, yeah, right. Like, in the preview for the next episode, like, you see, like, Laser. I wonder if that's when this is when that scene happened. Because it's like, they fight, and, like, Hiro gets his ass kicked, and then, like, it just cuts. Like, we did this once before.
I don't think so, because the background is wrong, and it sounds like Poppy is reacting.
Okay. Yeah, because I was thinking, like, they did this once with, like, what was it, like, here? No, I think it was Taiga and Dan talking. And it just, like, cut, and then, like, next episode or something, or later on, we got to see it, but yeah, okay. It could be different. As for, like, Hiro just saying, like, piss off, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much his character, because, like, as much as he wants Saki back, like, I think he wouldn't be tempted this easily unless he, like, knew for sure or something. As for, like, Dan's father stealing the, like, proto gashets, like, I was like, it could have been him. It makes perfect sense, but I was thinking maybe somebody in the ministry did it or something interesting to set up for the next arc, but I'm like, all right, I guess we're just wrapping all that up in this. Yeah, I mean, it's straightforward, but, like, I feel like we're probably going to have a flashback to what the hell happened here, because it's too important to, like, yeah, you can say he said, oh, I'm going to bring Saki back, but I'm like, really? Is that all you said? Because, like, maybe he said something else to make Hiro switch aside, because Masamune basically went and, like, he got one of the riders on his side to break up, you know, like, the monopoly of power that the riders had, and then he's basically threatened the Bucksters into following what he says, otherwise they die. So, like, he's just, you know, trying to, you know, divide and conquer pretty much. As for why he's doing it, like, he kind of comes off as this two-faced asshole. Like, each of the, like, I could get onto this later, but I'll just say it now. Like, each of the three CEOs are sort of different, where it's like, Dan is like the creative type CEO, where it's like, yeah, he actually has talent, except until, like, and then he does okay for the company, and then it gets to the point where, like, he starts working on his, like, dream game, and he says, like, fuck everything else, like, I don't care if you say this is a bad decision, I'm gonna still do it anyway, and he just kind of runs the company into the ground type of CEO. And, like, Lovrika is okay, this fits less to him, but we can just go with it. Like, he comes in and he does the whole, like, we're gonna have, like, internal competition to see who's better, and realistically that was just to, you know, distract the company from, you know, seeing what he's actually doing. But, like, he's the type of CEO that you would get in, like, a company who would just come in, like, slash and try to increase profits, but in reality all they do is like try to either like make the company into something they can sell and make a profit off, or just get a decent severance and piss off. So you know that's the type of CEO Love Rika was. And this guy, like Masamune, is like that CEO that from the outside says like everything you want to hear, but is actually like a giant sleaze bag, because that's what he is. He's like, oh, we're a white company, we pay all our workers and shit like that. And it's like, oh, our games make people happy. It's like, yeah, okay, that sounds good, but like, and then like as soon as you go against him, is like, oh, well, you signed the contract, you can't say anything, you signed this non-disclosure agreement. It's like, oh, and this game you made, yeah, fuck you, because you made it using our property, so we own it. So he's like that corporate sleazy douchebag who like say whatever to act nice, because that's what's going to increase profits, and that's all he really cares about. It's like, so yeah, that's the three types of CEOs these guys are.
Um, Back at CR, Hiro informs everyone that Masamune stole the Proto Gashats. Emu decides to talk to him directly. So he goes over to Genom Corp with Poppy and they meet with him. He won't hand over the Proto Gashats. And because Poppy asks, he explains that his goal is to sell Kamen Rider Chronicle worldwide to make Genom Corp the #1 game company in the world. Emu protests because the games it causes game syndrome, which is a life-threatening disease, but Masamune explains that he doesn't intend on decreasing their player base. He reveals that he has a master Gashat that he can use to control the bugsters, and he inserts into a computer and deletes Salty, resulting in all the Ride players infected with Salty's strain of game syndrome to be cured. I feel like this deletion is just kind of a temporary thing, though. It doesn't seem like he's actually like destroying the bugster, because otherwise he would run out of bugsters.
I think he's just scaring them in line. Like, I think it's permanent though, because like at this point, Salty's power level is just way too weak. So I think he's just showing like, you know, you're just products. Like, you're not important enough. Because the thing is, he could always make more bugsters if he needs to. Like, he has the perfect syndrome of the game. Like, he's also patient zero, which is weird, but whatever. So like, if he wanted to, he could make more bugsters. So I think him just deleting Salty is fine by him. Besides, this way, like, now two bugsters are out of the picture, there's no way Game DS can threaten him.
Right. Honestly, I like this scene because it shows the difference between Emu's point of view and Masamune's. Because this truly shows Masamune cares about selling his product and everything else, whereas Emu's more concerned with saving everybody who's infected, because infections suck, and he's a doctor. It From both sides of the coin, it makes sense for each of their arguments. And him deleting Salty Salty's so underleveled it's not even funny. I mean, Ex-Aid was whooping his ass at level 2. I did notice something with Masamune's office. It's Cake Boss's office from O's.
Oh my
Yes.
god!
Yeah, except the couch is on the other side.
And they took the oven out to put in a piano.
Oh my god.
No, it's his desk. That's where his desk was.
Yeah. No, I know, but the couch that used to be on the left side is on the right side.
And I'm
Yes.
pretty sure that Cake Boss's desk was actually an oven.
Yeah, it would.
He's
make
just
a
standing
whole lot of
over
sense.
it, mixing cake batter. There's no actual oven in sight, so all he has is his desk. There's got to be an oven in there.
Look, man, they can make the metal system. I'm pretty sure he could fucking henshin a oven if he needed to into his desk. It's probably like push a button. Dude, they have transforming bike vending machines. All right, I'm sure they could figure out how to put an outfit in a desk.
If you've never seen Kamen Rider before and you're wondering what the hell we're talking about, go watch Kamen Rider O's.
And you will recognize this office immediately. It's used a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice touch. I wonder what happened to the Kogami Foundation, seeing as Genom Corp took over the building.
Well, I don't think it's the same building though, because the foundation, Kagami Foundation's building is different. Like it's more of a like skyscraper type thing, whereas like this is more like a standalone thing.
Well, maybe they tore it down but kept the suite, intact, pulled it out, built
Do you
up the new
honestly
building, and put
think
it
that
back in.
Cake Boss is the type to go out of business?
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean,
He moved
Nobunaga
locations.
almost put
He
him
moved
on.
locations.
Gotta get to Egypt to dig up more things that'll destroy the world.
But yeah, I
Well,
thought that.
technically, he's making plans to make new Kamen Riders. All right.
Yeah, he's gonna make Poseidon at some point
Yeah,
because we know that's a thing.
Poseidon's rider kick was badass though.
But this is one of the few moments that's very, very obvious when it comes to Rider and Sentai reusing sets. Because aside from the furnishings, it is literally the same office. To
Yeah.
include a different, albeit same shape, table in the corner where Cake Boss drew the O symbol.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they probably have like limited furniture for like fancy office desk thing. So, it's Toei. They're cheap bastards. They're not gonna throw out furniture.
Yeah, they
Why
had
would
to
you
throw
throw
out all the
out
money
a perfectly good couch?
I don't
to
know.
make room for the piano.
I mean that piano is probably reused too. It's probably the same one from fucking Ryuki at this point.
It was probably in Deno, because there was an episode where they had like 5 pianos.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Oh yeah, they do have a couple different ones.
Welcome to Toei. We have a crap ton of actors and no sets.
Well, they have sets. They're just all warehouses.
Hey, you gotta save
Yeah,
money.
it's all warehouses, offices, and like 5 locations.
Hey,
Well, they don't own those.
there are plenty of places outdoor that are free, and apparently a construction yard where they can just film Kyo Ranger.
Yeah, that's everything involved in that. Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I think Toei probably owns that bridge.
I think they own every location that's been shown.
You know what? They
No,
probably
They went out and bought it.
they
don't own the
probably
Tokyo
have
now.
to own certain landmarks to keep tourists from taking selfies in front of it when they're trying to film.
Dude. Okay. You know, like fucking Quarry. That like everybody shows up and does like the final battles in like Tyson movies and shit.
Yeah?
Toei definitely does not own that. And you know
Oh.
why? Because ask Josh. He went to the site. Guess what? Japanese Burning Man was happening that week.
Well, they may have rented it out to Japanese Burning Man.
No, they did not. They
No.
did not rent it. It's because it's not in Tokyo. It's like
Oh.
a couple towns over or something. It's weird. It's a really hilarious and kind of sad story. Actually, it's in one of his like vlogs. Of
Should we
going
get back to Ex-Aid?
whatever. I mean, these people are late. Let's kill some time, I guess.
I mean, I will admit that to me that would be a little disappointing to show up to this iconic place that's in this show that
Yes.
I love, and it's just a bunch of
Bunch
people.
of Japanese hippies. Yeah,
Hippies, yeah.
yeah. That's basically what happened.
Oh, that's the best. That's the best.
I mean, it's a hilarious story. It's really sad. It actually
sorry.
happened. It's fine. Shit, what were we talking about? Oh, right.
We were talking about
talking
Cake
about-
Boss.
Yeah. Cake Boss and reusing sets. Right. You know, that like park thing where like Poppy henchined and like Nico kind of henchined and fought for the first time. Like they use that location a lot. Like that, like you know what I'm talking about, right?
The one with the
Yeah.
circle steps.
Yeah, the steps and like the tiles and stuff. Holy shit, that's been in so much stuff because I saw like a YouTube like reviewer going to that place, and then he's just like touring around it, and it's just showing like shots. It's the same place but from different angles. It's shown in like fucking Amazon's Wizard Ex-Aid. Like it's been in so many things, and you can't tell because that place has like weird structure, and if you shoot it from like different angles, it looks like totally different place. It's insane. Like it showed up in like X8 like 3 4 times, and it looks different just because they shot it from like a different side. It's so weird. Um, yeah, like when like Nico henshins, when Poppy henshins, when like they go to like the amusement park thing, and like Snipe, I think it's like level 50 for the first time or whatever. Yeah, same place. Like the amusement park's right there. It's the same place that they did for like the Amazon like episode 4 or whatever, where they go to the amusement park. It's the same location. It's fucking freaky, man. Just seeing it from like a different angle.
Okay, back to Ex-Aid though. Um, Emu returns to Sierra and shares the information that he got. Dan is pissed that his father stole his game for a rise in power. Hero questions if Kronos can be defeated by Emu reprogramming his Bugster antibodies to make him unable to become Kronos. Because of Kronos' pause ability, they can't actually guarantee Emu will be able to hit him because he can just pause and move somewhere else. Emu and Dan then have an epiphany on how they can pull it off. Out in the hall, as they're getting ready to head out, Hiro, Emu, and Poppy have a short conversation together about the moral implications of reviving the dead, but Emu is willing to bring Hiro's girlfriend back if it means bringing back his smile. I thought this was a really good scene as they actually addressed the idea of like, what doctor would accept that you can just revive the dead?
See, I just thought about this. I would completely understand Emu's point of view with, we can't bring back the dead. If not for the fact that in Go Rider, he literally tried to talk Laser into coming back.
Well, he wasn't. He was talking about the moral implications of it, whether it's an okay thing to do or not.
What does he care? He literally tried to bring somebody back from the dead already.
That's his
Yeah.
point here, is that like he actually doesn't really care that much about if it's right or wrong. He's willing to do it. Especially if it's to help someone alive reunite with a lost loved one.
Yeah, I guess I misunderstood his
No, I
point
mean like
in
the
that.
Hero is
two
the one
things-
that's like what doctor would accept this?
Yeah, true, fair enough. I mispaid attention to that scene a little bit.
I mean, like two things about that is like one, Go Riders is like a special, so it's not like it is in continuity, but not that in continuity. And the other thing is like everybody always talks shit about like, oh no, you can't bring the back. I mean, the dead back to life and all that shit. I'm like, yeah, it's great until like it's like somebody you know who died, and then like everybody shuts the fuck up. It's the same load of crap. And also for like what doctor would accept it, I don't know. Like all the fucking scientists and doctors trying to cure aging, or like all these other diseases. I'm pretty sure if they're like, hey kid, we can fucking turn you into data and revive you once we find a cure to your disease. I'm pretty sure a lot of doctors would accept that.
Right. I think with this episode where with this scene, I did like the fact that Hiro seemed like very hesitant during the entire conversation. Like he was weighing everything that between what was going on and their plan versus what Kronos had said to him. It seemed to fit well with the way everything went, despite problems I had with this later on.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those nice things, sort of, about Hero is like he's not willing to just let like his own feelings. Like he wants to bring his girlfriend back to life, but he's not willing to. Uh, like he's not willing to risk everybody else just so he can show up. But you know what are you gonna do?
Uh, Dan and Masamune meet up. And by that I mean Dan literally walks on the middle of the street in front of Masamune's car to get his attention. Um, they have a father-son catching up chat. To summarize, Masamune reveals that the only reason he took the blame for Zero Day and went to jail was so that Dan could finish developing Kamen Rider Chronicle. And he only sees Dan as an asset to the company rather than his own son. Anything about this short conversation between them? This loving father-son moment?
Like it adds a little bit more to Dan's character, I think.
We know where he gets his
'Cause-
crazy from.
right, we now know that the crazy pants was not, just something Kuroto found. It was something that was inherited. But at the same time, you can kind of tell that everything Kuroto's done has more or less seemed for his father's approval. Is like that entire scene with with Kuroto is basically him going, "Why won't you acknowledge me?" To me, that's what that scene seemed to be, and
I didn't think of it like that.
because I mean, it adds that dynamic to it because he's basically sitting there going, "No, I created this, and you're just going to take it from me. No, where's my claim to it? You're not going to steal this from me because this is mine."
That's an interesting
And
point.
Masumune's basically going, "No, I let you do this, so it's still mine. You did it under my company. It doesn't matter what achievement you've made; it still belongs to me." Which adds more to the legitimacy of Kodoto fighting on the side of good, albeit because he's a bugster and all that, and that whole situation has changed. But with Masamune involved now, it adds more legitimacy to him basically fighting with him. And I'm still trying to figure out how. This is my issue with it. With some of these scenes in this series, is it jumped from daytime to nighttime like immediately.
That was because
How far did they walk?
I don't know. And then Cronus's time control power screws things up further by making it daytime again.
Like it, like I understood it in the episode where Kronos appeared. It made kind of a bit of a sense, that whole warping reality thing, control of time, blah. When he's not henshined, it doesn't make any sense. Because like
I mean,
when
it's
when
just,
they left, because when they
Okay.
left CR, it was daytime when they left, and then it's just bloop, nighttime.
When Dan stepped in front of the car, it was the middle of the day. When we saw that after the conversation in the hallway, in which you could see that the sun was starting to set. So time in this episode is a little skewed.
It just seems odd with the timing of the scenes for this.
It is odd. You're right.
Greg, I was just saying maybe it's just time control power messing it up. Like, what I was thinking is, yeah, it's standard Toei like bullshit. Like, they don't care about consistency. As for like, I like how like it changes from night to, like, you could say maybe it was like afternoon, and while they were driving or whatever, it got dark. Like, it's possible. And then like when Kronos henshin, he kind of messed up time because that's sort of what he does. But I'm not taking it too seriously. Um, As for their interaction, though, it was pretty interesting because it's like, like Dan's not putting up with Masamune's crap like at all because he's like, Masamune's like, oh, I took the fall for you, man, and all this, just like pretending, and like Dan's like, screw you, asshole, you're using me now like you were using me 16 years ago, and it's like you can kind of see like how Dan became like a psychopath because like he was much smarter at his young age. Plus, like people were exploiting him, and he kind of knew that, so it kind of messed him up to begin with. And his dad's kind of like a sleazebag, so that didn't help either. Plus, this whole Bugster virus guard complex shit definitely didn't help. As for like Masamune, like he's just a greedy businessman, so yeah, they're kind of just assholes. Like the thing is, he probably wasn't this much of an asshole when he was not in jail, but like sitting for 10 years in jail or whatever, or a couple years at least, probably really soured him on like Dan's nonsense. So he's pretty much like, all right, fucking work for me or piss off because you pretty much threw me to the wolves. Like, I don't have time for your shit this time.
Well, Masamune makes it sound like he willingly went to jail for his son.
Yeah, I know, but he's lying because Dan pretty much says, don't give me that bullshit. Like, he's just saying that to try to win Dan over, and Dan's not buying it.
Well, Dan henshins into Genom and Masamune into Kronos. Emu, Puppy, and Hero hide off to the side, waiting to do their part. Parado and Graphite are also waiting, though Parado is still in shock and fear, so Graphite gives him a pet talk about how he can't finish his fight with Ex-Aid with Kronos in the way. I never would have expected Graphite to try and boost someone's confidence.
Like that was just odd. Like it's a new little character shift. Graphite, granted, it's because of the situation.
Enemy of
but
my
yeah,
enemy.
Yeah, that whole enemy of my enemy is my friend, which that's literally what this situation amounts to. And the whole purpose of it is, I feel that Graphite knows that he needs Parado, because without Parado, he's basically boned. So let's do whatever we can to get, basically, for lack of a better term, our savior and our leader back in the game and get his head on straight. And the easiest way to do that was to literally go, don't you want to continue that fight?
Yeah, I think that's basically what Graphite's doing. Is like he knows that he needs Peridot, and because he needs Peridot, he's gonna try to like get his head in the game. As for like him changing, yeah, I didn't see that coming. But to be honest, like people change when they have to, not when they want to. So like it doesn't get any worse than this. And then Drago's just saying, Graphite's boasting confidence was kind of funny. So I'm like, yeah, it was interesting to see Graphite give like a pep talk.
Kronos makes short work of Genom, but Dan doesn't revive. Emu and Hero quickly run out in Henshin and get ready to attack. Kronos just pauses again, and Dan reveals that he had hid inside Kronos' Buggle driver to not be affected by the pause. After all, it's the device making it happen. Whoever is using it at the time is immune. So he pops out and he starts grappling Kronos, hitting the restart button and holding him still so that Ex-Aid can make his attack. And just when Ex-Aid goes in for the finisher, Brave knocks him aside. Kronos can easily keep the Bugsters under control. He hired Brave to keep the Kamen Riders under control, and Brave accepted the offer. Episode end. Like, this legit shocked me. When I first watched this, I was going through like thinking that Hiro had turned down the offer, he wasn't going to do it, and that was just we were just gonna find out what was the deal was some other time. I was actually legit shocked to see that he accepted the offer because he has no reason to accept this offer.
He has none. Um, it didn't shock me in the slightest, only because like I picked up on all the hesitancy throughout the entire conversation at CR and all that, and the way he seemed to, because like his whole mission up throughout this entire series has been to revive Saki. That's been his ultimate mission. Once they had the answer to how it was going to be done, which was get the protoga shots. For him to immediately flip to this is not a good idea based on moral implications was such to me it was such a reversal of character. It called into question his motives, because that's literally all he's wanted to do since the series has started, and he found out that that was a possibility. It's why he went off to fight all of the bugsters and get their keys and all that. It's why he did all that. So for him to immediately go, oh well, this is a bad idea, it really threw a wrench into their big reveal of, oh yeah, by the way, I took that job. I liked the way it played out in terms of through the fight, with it being the whole last minute betrayal rather than, as soon as Emu started to do everything. I like the way he waited literally till right before it hit Kronos.
Make sure the boss man actually needs my help, just in case.
Right. But the reason why it was this entire him taking the entire offer, it was entirely unnecessary and bullshit. Was, as far as we know, the only thing that Kronos offered him was to revive his girlfriend.
And
but that was what they were getting all the protoga shots for to begin with.
Right? Like, if they had taken away Kronos' power, then all he would have been was the CEO of Genom Corp, which Dan could make a claim to the proto-gashats that he built, and even in a legal case, they could get them back plausibly. Hiro literally had no reason to do this, and it is character ruining.
I mean, technically, people think Dan killed a bunch of people, so they're not really gonna give him anything because, like, he's a murderer, basically. Yeah, as for how we got here, like, I think it's one of the weaker, or not weaker, but like average-ish or standard writer episode, slightly below average for Ex-Aid episode. It's mostly because, like, we've had so many good ones, and I think it's one of those points where, like, for the plot point, for the next, arc to be set up, Hiro had to be there because I think they wanted to tell a story. Very similar to, like, one of your writer friends turns evil or whatever, and you try to save him, like Ankh or Go from Drive or whatever. There's a lot of them, all right? It happens every once in a while. So maybe they wanted that, but it's a little clunky how we got here.
It's a little forced.
Yeah, it's a little forced. Just a couple more things. Right. Oh, I kind of screwed up what Drago said. And he actually said graphite boosting confidence was kind of funny, so that's what he said. As for like why Hero took the offer, like he's basically saying, yeah, the same thing as you guys. Like, Emu could have just gotten Saki back. Like, there's really no reason to do this. And then on his thoughts on this episode as a whole, he's just saying it's not one of his favorites. Like, yeah, I'd agree. I think we all kind of agree this is kind of below average. To be honest, like I mean, the last one I can remember that was a little more forced like this was the Dragonite Hunter one, where they're like, "Oh, we should all work together," and they're like, they're getting ready to work together, and then they all just go separate ways. And then Drago's like, "Yeah, this was a very, very much forced episode." So yeah, I agree. This was kind of a mess.
If something really good comes out of this, though, I'm willing to overlook it. Uh, the next episode preview shows Laser being revived. And if you don't remember, he was the best character in Ex-Aid before he was killed off in episode 10. So yeah, I will take him back anytime.
Okay, I think like we like Laser a lot, but the thing is, it's been such a long time that I think everybody's sort of inflating how awesome Laser was. So like, I'm not saying Laser
I'm
is
not saying
freaking
he'd
awesome.
still be the best character now. I'm just saying he was the best character back at the start of the series.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, that's when like he had to like sidestep people and stuff. But like now everything's sort of in the open. Like, unless you want to have Laser back as like a mastermind, as like a counter to like
No, no,
Kronos.
I just want him to be the cool guy that he always was.
I know, but like we have like the point is, uh, okay, yeah, Laser died in episode 12. That's what Drago said, but
Whatever.
I know he showed up like he henshined in episode 4. So like, you know, he didn't have that much time. But like I like Laser. Like it's pretty awesome to see him in Heisei Generations, but that's before he was dead, right? And then like Go Riders is after his dead, and like he's in the Tyson, I think.
Go Rider shows that he still holds up after all of Emu's character development.
Yeah, except like the thing is like Go Riders plot, right? Like Emu shouldn't have been there. That should have been exactly what Laser would have done. Right? Like that's exactly his character, and then Emma was doing everything, so Leisha just stood there and did basically nothing. But like, I mean, yeah, he could have a point, but that's assuming that it's the real Laser. Like, there's a couple possibilities. Like, it's just the suit, could be one. Uh, Two, it's like some sort of weird flashback because Kronos. Um, well, I guess a couple more. Yeah, like it's either just a straight flashback, like maybe Cronus just took him back in time or something, um, or got him from earlier, or like it's maybe not a perfect revived laser, right? Like maybe it's just the weird scan data that like Dan collected. Um, or it could just be that they brought him back, and this is what somehow convinced Hero. But the thing is, like, I mean, the only reason this would convince Hero, as opposed to going with like Emu and Dan's plan, is like they have a plan, whereas like Kronos actually did it. Like that is the only reason he would side with them. It's still kind of weird. Like, yeah, I hope something awesome comes out of this, but like this was a real weird setup. Also, that like that attack that freaking like hit Emu to knock him out of the way. That was such fluke bullshit. I'm like, unless he like exactly knew that's exactly what they were gonna do. At first, I'm like, oh shit. He fired an attack and Emu crossed in front of it by accident and got hit. I'm like, oh shit. Did they like fuck up their master plan by accident? But no, it's heroes working for the bad guy. I'm like, okay, that's different.
Hero's just fought alongside Emu so much he knows his attack pattern.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, unless you guys have something else to say about this whole laser thing. Oh, and then Drago's saying he's saying it might be mind control.
No, Hero's not fucking mind controlled. The next episode preview proves that.
Maybe laser.
Oh god damn.
What? We're doing fucking Legends of Tomorrow season 2 now. Like, what? Is he Rip Hunter now?
I don't know.
What you're not?
Honestly, I don't care how they bring Laser back as long as it's not bullshit. As long as it's the reason isn't dumb.
Yeah, as long as
Other
it's
than
not
that,
dumb.
I don't care.
So when
Let,
Laser
let him be, let
died,
him come back and be mind controlled. I don't care. As long as he's got wears his jacket without putting his arms in his sleeves, I don't care.
like when he died, he vanished like a victim of the Bugster virus would, which I always found suspicious. So it's possible that, his data was stored somehow, like a Bugster's would be. I'd be
In Dangerous
totally.
Zombie?
Maybe. Like, after that, we saw Dan collecting Bugster data, so. Like, I'd be totally
Mm,
down for that being some sort of excuse for, like, this is why he's back. Because it's right there in front of us.
I mean, it could be, but the thing is, like, Kid disappeared differently.
No, he.
Because didn't he? Because yeah. Like Laser kind of faded away because his gauge hit zero. So
He did the
But I mean,
sparkly thing, didn't he?
he
no,
he
he did the
he
space out thing. Like when like okay, it could be possible because when like Peridot revealed like no when Dan revealed that Peridot was Emu's Bugster and he's Patient Zero and shit, and like Emu started disappearing, he sort of also had the like half phasing out of reality thing that Laser had. So I guess it's possible
You
that
remember the
like
flashbacks of Poppy becoming when her patient or whatever suffered? Like, she vanished the same way.
yeah, I mean it could be that.
That's what I'm saying.
I guess we can only wait and see. Yeah, I wish like to be fair, yeah, I wish they find a good reason to like bring Laser back, give him a good arc for it, and a good reason to bring him back. If they're just gonna bring him back because he's like a fan character, and then like just leave him dead, man. Like I like Laser, but like I'm
Uh,
kind of sick of just writers just coming back. Holy shit, man! Have you seen like in Coast? Okay, he fucking died.
didn't
Who
he die like
cares?
4 times?
Yeah, well, Heisei Generations again. Like I'm like this is a trope now. This is what he does. Like every time he shows up, he dies, or nearly. Like after all the shit, like he's awesome in that movie. It's just at the end he just drops dead for some weird reason, or almost drops dead, and like they never explain why. And then like Emu kind of like resuscitates him. It's like, what the fuck? Like, this movie was perfect. There was no need for that. The only reason to put that in is that is the trope of Kamen Rider Ghost, which sucks because now, like, every single time he comes back, he's gonna drop dead. Or, I mean, like, every time the actor comes back, I guess. That's so dumb.
It honestly doesn't matter anymore because he died too many times.
Yeah. I mean, like, way too much. Like,
Like,
Heisei Generations, he was perfect because, like, it shows, like, Hardo is, like, catchphrase is, like, I'm the final hope, right? And, like, Coast's thing is like humanity's infinite potential. So basically, like, thing is, Haruto will never give up. So he'll fight. Like basically, he'll overcome everything. But that doesn't mean like he's just gonna charge in. Whereas like Coast is, it doesn't matter. Like if I die or if I live or whatever, I'm gonna try regardless.
he
And
sh-
it's really good in the movie, but it's so dumb.
he should have only
That
died once, and the once was at the start of his series, which kicks off his series.
I mean, the second one sort of makes sense too, and like it makes sense how he comes back to life. So like the two times are fine. Every other time after that, it's fucking bullshit. Hey, Drago.
Um, Drago, you wanted to throw in your 2 cents?
I heard you guys talking about Heisei Generation, so I was like, yeah, let me join in.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
We'll probably do a podcast
I,
for it afterwards. Well, the next one's probably gonna be Go Rider as the special, and then we'll probably do a special episode on Hasted Generations. But yeah, you can say everything for now.
I love the ghost cast in Heisei Generations. I never thought I would say that, but they are great.
They are pretty good. Man, like it's insane how many like you forget how big Ghost's cast is for a second until they all show up and it's like holy fuck man, this cast was huge.
Didn't Ghost have like
Like
15 forms?
no, I'm talking about like a supporting cast.
Oh, really?
They all show up because this is the winter movie, right? It's like it's uh Ghost versus Ex-Aid, like the winter movie, so both characters cast can show up and like fucking Coast cast is bigger than Ex-Aid. It's insane. Like, it's amazing that like good thing crossed over with Ex-Aid. If it crossed over with like a normal show, it'd be like, oh, here's like the 4 guys in our show, and here's like the 10 from Ghost. We're just like supporting characters. It's fucking insane. Like, maybe Forze has like probably like same amount or maybe more cast.
Forza
But
had like 8.
yeah, like Coast has something around there too. Uh, no, how many does it have? Like,
Eight. Eight is the
yeah,
total
it's,
number of main cast. Like main supporting cast. Then there's Javier and everybody else. They didn't show up.
yeah, they didn't show up. But yeah, Hasted Generations is great. You guys got anything else to say on X8 or Hasted Generations? Vashi?
With Ex-Aid, to me, one of the best things about this episode was Parado for me,
I,
because it added to the understanding that he now holds Emu's human DNA, because he's acting very, very human based upon what's going on.
I didn't know he could get a
terrified that he's absolutely terrified of everything, and I liked it. I mean, I didn't think that this was a route that they were going to go with him, but it feels genuine, especially with what's going on, that he would literally be terrified.
Yeah, because he was so sure that all this thing that he set up was so the Bucksters could finally win, right? And then
Yeah.
like it backfired. Like I didn't think of the human connection, but that's a really good point. The only like the interesting thing too is like he doesn't stop being scared until like the final battle, where he sees that like yeah, there is a way to beat Kronos. After he sees like Emu and their plans, like then he's like, okay, I'm in my element now. Like I know this like insane motherfucker Kronos can be beaten. Like I can take him down.
Right.
Pretty much.
It just the way Parado acted, I give credit to. The only part of this that I didn't end up liking was when he pulled what the hell's his name, the sixth member from Juoger, his little sulking pose.
Jewel bipolar.
Yeah, Jewel bipolar. He pulled his pose where he pulled up his legs and kind of hugged his knees, which is immediately where my brain went, was Juoger bipolar. Other than that, I mean, this, despite the problems that this episode had, it was a good episode. The biggest thing that killed it was the unnecessary betrayal that had damn well better have a very good explanation.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
never
think-
gonna have a good.
Yeah, go ahead, Drago.
Okay, it's never gonna have a good explanation. I'm pretty sure, but I think if they are gonna give you a pretty good story element later on, then it's forgivable.
Yeah, if we have a good result, I can forgive and forget.
I mean, with this show's track record, like everything pays off eventually. So I think we're probably gonna get a really good storyline out of this. It's just the setup wasn't as nice as like because all the other like lately, especially this arc, like all the setup's been so good that we forget that like it's still like a writer show that eventually like things kind of go off the rails every once in a while. But like Ex-Aid for this arc has been so solid that like even one small misstep like everybody notices. So yeah, I hope this goes in a good place.
like especially with this arc, like the just the setup for and Masamune is like that had been set up since the moment that character got introduced, but it was done in a way that up until that episode it was nobody thought about it, because when we all saw the stands for Chronos, everybody thought it was going to be graphite because of the color scheme, and then no, here's yeah, you know that guy we introduced a while ago, yeah, he's the thing now.
He's actually an important character. We didn't forget about him, I promise.
Because I mean, that's what it was. Like we were led to believe that it was just, oh, here's his dad. He got framed for it, and this whole arc was going to end with him getting exonerated, taking over, doing whatever. Nobody thought that he would become a writer. It was an amazing payoff for something so minimal that they did. It's why I'm hoping that the payoff for Brave turning douche noodle is, phenomenal. I don't want it to be something stupid.
I think they work like I think they work too hard to make Hiro a good character. Like I don't think they're just gonna throw it away if they didn't think they could write like a good story. We should also probably wrap this up. The stream's freezing a little bit. I mean, like it's fine now, but yeah. Any last thoughts, everyone?
I want Laser back.
We get Laser back. Next week needs to get here fast.
I don't. I'm worried about Ex-Aid going forward because of the laser coming back and the hero's betrayal. But I think I have faith in the Ex-Aid writers.
Yeah, I mean, Ex-Aid's one of those weird shows that like most of its episodes I think are written by the main writer, or maybe it just has one. I don't know. So like,
yeah, the one guy has been writing pretty much all of Ex-Aid.
that's pretty awesome. So like, it's 33 episodes in. Like, he's kind of earned my trust at this point. So like, I don't think it's gonna tank. Right? Like, even if it does, it's like one character out of like we have like 6 writers now, right? Like 7 if Laser comes back, but that better be like Laser's return and Hero's betrayal both better have a really good payoff, because otherwise it's gonna kind of feel kind of lame and kind of bullshit. But I don't think that's what's gonna happen, because Exit's been pretty damn solid so far. I think it's gonna be solid going forward.
Yeah, you know what is gonna be the coolest thing now? In the opening credits now, you're gonna have every single rider that has ever appeared on Ex-Aid, and even the Kirya hole is gonna be filled.
Oh, that's why they freaking had the yellow static, because that's clever. Because like, I'm like, oh, that's nice. They're leaving a space for Kirya, but if he's coming back, I'm like, oh, bastards! Like, you have to edit the intro less now. That's so clever.
I like that they're actually willing to edit the intro.
Well, normally the thing is, what happens is when writer normally, if it gets like more than one intro, it's not a good thing, because like traditionally when they change the intros, it's trying to get more viewership, but I don't think X8 needs that, because like I'm pretty sure like because of how much everybody's loving X8, they're probably getting so much feedback through social media. Like, they don't need to change the intro to boost popularity. It's fucking popular as it is. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. Like, is Dan in the intro?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. What's more interesting is like at first you think it's like, oh, it's Peridot level 99. And no, it's Kronos. And I bet when like fucking Ex-Aid gets his new one and like Peridot and Dan, not Dan, and Kronos kind of get taken down, it's just gonna get replaced by Ex-Aid's thing, probably.
Well, now we just have to wait for what do you call it? The intro to like. I really want to know what are they gonna do after Kronos, because they can't keep this shit up.
Well, they got like,
Game Deus.
yeah. Well, here's the thing, like they might need that power to beat Kronos, so maybe Ex-Aid might absorb him.
We are in the penultimate arc. Whenever this arc ends, it will end rolling into the final arc of the series. And we don't know how many episodes that's going to be. Like, how many episodes does X8 have left, anyways? Is this
I don't
one
know.
getting a full 50?
No
I
idea.
mean, it's popular enough. It depends how far they want to push back the other rider, the next one. Like we haven't heard anything about it, so it's probably gonna get like 45, 44 standard, but like it'll probably get more than that. Um, because I don't think I've heard anything about the new rider. Drago, you guys, Bashi?
Uh, I have heard rumors. Like I saw a screenshot with the silhouette. It's they say that I don't know. It's, according to the rumor, it's the full image is gonna come out around June or July.
Okay.
I've
So
not seen anything about it yet.
so they're probably not gonna delay it, which means it's gonna get at least 40 something, 44, 45, 48 maybe. I mean, like if you get more than 48, you're pushing it. Um, like the only reason Wizard got like 3 extra episodes or whatever is because Gaim wasn't ready.
Mm.
Yeah.
It'll be cool if like Ex-Aid gets the full 50 episodes, but every episode counts. That would be amazing.
Yeah, that's gonna be amazing. I mean, like the only show that consistent is Kuga, and Kuga had 3 filler episodes, but that was because it was trying to catch people up because Ryder hadn't been on air for so long, and Kuga was probably like super popular, and so like more and more people were coming on. It's like, what the fuck is going on, right? So they had to add all these like catch-up episodes. I mean, there were like only 3 of them, but you know,
Yeah,
they were
Kuga is
pretty
awesome.
interesting. Yeah. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is like, or I guess just 2 things. Man, this show freaking like knows how to roll in like old school like Showa era plot points. Like the whole like Kamen Rider Amazon classic Showa era of like, oh, we mass produced this thing, now I'm gonna sell it to the world type thing. You know, it's such a classic Showa plot. I mean, like Amazon's is doing it, except like they fucked up and so they can't do it properly after season 1. But you know, it's impressive that like Ex-Aid's pulling that back in. Like I didn't think, because think about it, like how many like classic things, like they're modified humans now, like their villain wants to like weaponize their tech and sell it to the world, like so many classic things. Also, when it's like on the phone, it's like, yeah, I want to talk to your company about like selling, helping me X. Holy shit, how amazing would it have been to know that he's talking to Foundation X. This would have been
Yeah,
Oh my
so
god.
I was thinking that.
this would have been so much better than freaking that Brave special for reintroduction. But I think this arc is after the Tyson movie, so because Go Riders is a tie-in to the Tyson movie. Like it's either before, no, probably after, because they have the cards and stuff. Whatever. The point is, like, yeah, man, introduction to Foundation X. I mean, they could still do it, but who knows?
I mean, if Foundation X is like, I hope that Foundation X actually replaces Shocker, because they feel like a more interesting kind of villain than Shocker does.
I mean, once they start succeeding, they'll start feeling better than Shocker. Shocker at least kind of wins every once in a while, and we're freezing super hard now. We should probably end this.
Okay.
Sign off, everyone.
Okay, thank you all for joining us this week. We'll see you next time.
Bye bye.
See you next time.
Good night, everyone. See you next time.